Well, hello and welcome to Magnolia State Weather Live. I am student meteorologist Ashton Champion, and tonight is Tuesday, January 27th. Another cold blast up for us here in the next few days, as well as the potential for maybe a few small snow flurries, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. Right now, we're going to still look at the power outages we still have across Mississippi as a result of this weekend's winter storm. Still 126,000 customers without power. That got upwards of 160,000 or 180,000 this weekend. Lots of power outages we had across the state, spanning all the way from Tishomingo County all the way down to southwestern Mississippi in Wilkinson County. And we'll go through all of these outages right now. We'll go from the northeastern part of the state to the southwestern part right now. So Tishomingo County is still 10,566 customers out of power. That's 43% of the county. Alcorn County, 16,000 outages, 66% of the county. Prentiss County has right at 4,155, 21% of the county out. Tippah County right at 12,000 out. That's 90% of the county. Benton County with 894 out, 97% of Benton County is out of power. Marshall County, 11% of the population is out. That's right at 1,000 outages. We'll keep going through. Union County, 60% of the county out with 2,600 outages. Pontotoc County, 1,305 outages, about 31% of the county. Lafayette County, that's where Oxford is, the University of Mississippi. 16,838 outages, 63% of Lafayette County is out. Going up to Tate County, roughly 3% of the county out. They have a little less outages up there, 427 outages in Tate County. Panola County, right at 10,000 outages, roughly half of the county out of power. Yalobusha County, 4,472 outages, still around 50% of the county out right now. Calhoun County, about 5% out, only 200 outages across Calhoun County. Grenada County, right at 5,500 outages, about 45% of the county out. Webster County, about 17% of Webster County does not have power still, about 1,176 people. We'll go down. Montgomery County, right at 2,300 outages, about 60% of the county. Quitman County, about 464 outages, 11% of Quitman County out. Tallahatchie County, right at 4,700 outages, about 67% of the county of Tallahatchie County out. LaFleur County, right at almost 900-ish outages. They have 71% of the county out. So really, an area through the Delta spanning up towards Oxford and then into northeastern Mississippi, the bordering counties with Tennessee is really where we've seen the hardest hit. Carroll County, 930 outages, 76% of the county out. Attala County, a little bit better, only 900 outages, but still 12% of the county out of power there. Holmes County, 3,500 outages, about 73% of Holmes County is out right now. Sunflower County, 1,700 residents out, right at 20% of the county. Humphreys County, right at 2,100 with 84% of Humphreys County out. Yazoo County, 854 outages, still 65% of that county out in Yazoo. Next, Bolivar County, 1,160 outages, about 9% of Bolivar County out. Washington County, 861 outages, about 6% of Washington County out. Sharkey County, 1,613 outages in Sharkey County, 91% of the county out. Do not have correct data for Issaquena County, but I know Issaquena County is about in the same boat as Sharkey County. Warren County, about 4,000 outages. That's roughly 19% of the county out. Claiborne County, about 900 outages. Roughly 17% of Claiborne County still out of power. Jefferson County, 324 outages, about 6.65% of Jefferson County out. Adams County, still 860 customers out, 5% of Adams County out of power. And then Wilkinson County, 95 customers out, so about 1.5% of Wilkinson County out. I think what I missed one was Lee County at 801 outages, roughly 2% of the county out. And then Hinds County has about 1,800 outages and about 1.5% of the county. And so actually the counties, this is something interesting, but these counties up here in northwestern Mississippi that were under the winter storm warning instead of the ice storm warning are actually faring out the best and that includes DeSoto County, Tunica County, and Coahoma County. Out of those 3 counties, only 3 outages, and that's because those counties saw mostly snow. There was a mix of snow and ice, but those 3 counties did not really see much freezing rain. And so that is why those 3 counties only have 3 outages. And so you can obviously see where the path of ice and freezing rain really went through versus where there was primarily snow. Right now, like I said, 125,797 customers out across the state of Mississippi. About 9.5% of the state is out of power. And so that's where we sit right now. If we look at it by utility, Entergy has about 34,000 customers out. The Northeast Mississippi EPA, a little over 20,000. Alcorn County EPA right at 16,000. Tallahatchie Valley EPA, 15,600. Tipa EPA, 12,600. Tishomingo County EPA, a little over 11,000. Oxford Utilities, over 5,000. And then Prentice County EPA, over 4,000. And there's more EPAs there and a few more small outages for some surrounding counties, but that's the majority of it as of right now. And so plenty of power outages still across the state of Mississippi. And we'll continue to monitor that over the next few days, but it's still going to be, like they said, we were looking for weeks till everyone gets power back. And that's unfortunate considering the cold conditions we have had over northern Mississippi the last few days, and we have another cold blast on the way. But getting to that, we'll look at that here in just a second. Here is the GFS. We're going to look at that cold blast that I was talking about, and then we'll get into tonight's stuff just real quick. But I wanted to show that to you here on the global models. What you'll see is this cold air that's located over the Midwest will drop down into Mississippi around Saturday. And so by time we get to Saturday, big cold blast on Saturday morning, and that continues also into Sunday, and that will eventually get out of here by, it stays for a few days. Those cold temperatures get out of here by Wednesday. So a cold blast coming in on Saturday morning, lasting for about 4 days, and we'll get more into the details of that here in just a second. I have to pull up our graphics just real quick. And so here we go. Here's where we're looking right now for tonight. Here's our overnight lows across the state of Mississippi. And so temperatures in the teens and then in the 20s across most of Mississippi. Most of Mississippi will be below freezing. I think these numbers in South Mississippi are a bit low. South Mississippi, south of I-20, will be more near 32 degrees, so right at that freezing point. But temperatures in the northern part of the state will definitely get right at in the teens for northern Mississippi. So still very cold over the areas that are recovering from this weekend's winter storm. Looking towards tomorrow, though, tomorrow we get a nice little warm up for southern Mississippi into the 50s south of the I-20 corridor. But then for northern Mississippi, some areas still around that 40-degree mark, and then even in the 30s across parts of northern Mississippi. So still some cold days out there while people are recovering in northern Mississippi from the ice storm. Tomorrow night's lows about the same as tonight. Going to be below freezing across all of the state. I still believe you're going to be near the freezing point for South Mississippi in the 30s. But then for northern Mississippi, you will still be in the teens tomorrow night. So now, looking at the models, we got to talk about that cool down we had, and then maybe that flurry chance that I was talking about in the title of the video. And so the GFS shows this for us here. Cold front comes through Saturday morning. And so Saturday morning, areas in the teens for northern Mississippi and in the 20s for South Mississippi. But then as we move into Sunday, the highs on Saturday, the highs on Saturday only reach right at 32 degrees for South Mississippi, in the 20s for the highs on Saturday in northern Mississippi. As we go into Sunday night, extremely cold. Most of Mississippi in the teens. Expected on Sunday night, maybe some 20s down for southern Mississippi. And that cold stays for several days. Monday morning in the 20s across Mississippi. Tuesday morning, right at the freezing mark in the 30s across Mississippi. But then luckily by Wednesday, we actually start to warm up. So your day on Tuesday will get up into the 50s across Mississippi. And then luckily after Tuesday, all that cold air is basically out of here. And so we'll warm up just a little bit. And that's, of course, relative to winter. We will only warm up into the 50s for southern Mississippi and into the mid 40s across northern Mississippi with that system. But next is what I've been monitoring, which is the chance for some snow flurries, and this is very small snow flurries, not anything that you would talk about accumulation with. But here's the GFS through the next few days. If we look at, sorry, I have to go back just a little bit. If we look at Friday night, here's what the GFS is showing, and it's been going on and off just a little bit. GFS showing potentially some areas in northern Mississippi could see some showers or maybe some snow flurries Friday morning. And so this is really going to be a hit or miss opportunity. If you get any snow flurries, I would not expect any accumulation. But also, for the most part, you could definitely just see some very cold rain showers up in northern Mississippi, according to the GFS. But if I move that over to the Euro, and what is the Euro showing for that? Get that over here. And then the Euro showing that for Friday morning. The Euro not really showing anything. The Euro has been a little bit behind with this system, but overall, the Euro doesn't really show that chance all too well. Maybe some scattered showers across Mississippi on Friday morning. It's not really showing much of anything. But then if we go to some short range models, like the NAM here, the NAM definitely shows some snow possibilities across northern Mississippi. However, what I want to look at here is the soundings where, I mean, maybe you get a little bit of snow in northern Mississippi. This will be small little flurries. But the short range models are calling it. I saw a meteorologist somewhere in Tennessee that pointed out northern Mississippi and said you weren't going to get any snow. I definitely think that possibility is there for you to get some flurries across northern Mississippi. However, accumulation would be low. And so this is definitely a conditional situation, and it's going to depend on how cold it gets across northern Mississippi on Friday morning. But overall, looking at the soundings, I mean, this shows 30 degrees across northern Mississippi on Friday morning, and so maybe you get some snow flurries on Friday. We're just going to have to wait and see, but that's what the NAM shows, and that's a short range, or a mid-range model, I should say. So definitely some reliability there in the NAM. If we move to the NSSL products, which is an experimental product, the NSSL doesn't really show much of anything, but it's also delayed just a little bit. So we'll have to look really tomorrow and see what the short range models are showing for Monday. I want to go back to the 18Z RRFS just real quick and see what the RRFS is looking at for Friday. But the RRFS shows maybe you get the tiniest snow flurries across northern Mississippi on Friday, but overall not much of anything. So maybe you get snow flurries on Friday morning. That chance is very low, but definitely something cool to look at, to say the least. We can look at the Canadian model just real quick. The Canadian model was a little more aggressive with snow through some latest outputs. This shows maybe some mix across southern or central Mississippi. And so, like I said, accumulation would be extremely small with whatever system would come through on Friday. But this low pressure system that would bring this system is going to be interesting. And so the reason that there might be a little bit of rain over across Mississippi on Friday is due to this low pressure system that's over the Gulf on Friday. And so this low could move up or down a few hundred miles, and that's really going to depend, or at least the rain percentages, snow percentage chance, whatever you want to call it, is going to really be dependent on this low pressure system over the Gulf. And so if this is a few more miles to the north, I think the chances of seeing snow are probably a little bit higher. But if they're a little bit farther to the south, all of the little snow flurry chances will probably move off into the Gulf. So the location of the center of this surface low is going to be very important. But I want to zoom out here and show you why this is important from a big scale. Mississippi is probably not going to see much of anything with this system. I need to go ahead and make that clear. Anything we would see, like I said, would be those snow flurries or ice flurries on Friday, and you wouldn't see really any accumulation with that. It would just be cool to look at. But here's the problem, is this is causing a nor'easter type event on the East Coast. So if you know people on the East Coast, they might be in for a fairly hefty system, but models are not too keen on what's going to happen with that just yet. But I want to show this. You see, here's Friday morning where we see those maybe showers or little tiny snow flurry chances over south or over Mississippi. Sorry, I always want to say South Mississippi, but this is just over Mississippi. And so what's going to happen is low pressure system forms here over the Gulf. And so what's going to be allowed to happen here is this low pressure system over the Gulf is going to go right over Florida. And then since it's over warm water, it's going to have a warm water source for latent heat. And so warmer waters over the Atlantic will allow this system to bomb out. It's called bombogenesis. And so we're going to see a nor'easter type event across the East Coast potentially. And this could be a bomb cyclone. And that all that a bomb cyclone means is that a system lowered itself by 24 millibars within a 24-hour period. And there's some other factors in there regarding the latitude. But this low pressure system is then going to go right up the East Coast. And really, it depends on the location of this low, how far off of the coast it is of the Carolinas. But for the most part, I mean, the GFS is showing potentially a nor'easter type event over the Carolinas, Virginia, up to New Jersey, and up across the Northeast. That's not really a concern for us, but this shows, man, a low down to 968 millibars. It's a very low surface pressure for just a normal low pressure system. So that'll definitely be something we have to watch. I don't think we'll see a surface low get down to 966 millibars. That's stronger than some hurricanes. But overall, what it's looking like right now is that the East Coast could definitely have a problem with this system. But for us, it's just looking like a little, maybe a little bit of rain, maybe a little bit of snow flurries. Who knows as of right now? We'll have more insights on that tomorrow. But for the most part, just going to be cold across Mississippi with this next cold snap that will last from about Saturday to Tuesday. But, I mean, looking clear for the most part, so that'll be interesting. But anyways, that's all I have for Magnolia State weather tonight. I thank you for showing up. Not really a ton to talk about with our weather, which is very good. We'll keep monitoring that system on the East Coast. But for our weather, I mean, we're mostly clear. Maybe a little bit of rain, like I said. But that's all we have for now. And so anyways, thank you for choosing Magnolia State weather. I'm student meteorologist Ashton Champion. And I just thank you for showing up and thank you for trusting us here. And thank you and have a good day and God bless.